TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Welcome back to a wonderful show. You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings. I'm going to be your host for today. My name is Minister Lundy, also King Lundy, and I'm going to let the Kings introduce themselves from my left to right.
That would be me.
Absolutely.
Pleasure to be with everybody. My name is Hassan. Ready for a great show.
Absolutely.
Here with the fellas.
And I'm King Robert from Albany. Always honored to be here. I'm ready to get into it.
Absolutely. Albany. First, before we get started, we want to thank you, the listeners, for tuning in today to a wonderful show. We want to give a shout out to our executive director, and that's going to be Mr. Felix Washington. Thank you, Felix, for making this show and making it happen for us. Also to our technical and program director and Intel Light choreographer, Mr. Marcus Given. Also to Chantel Barksdale, our media personality that helps us along the way. We're going to get into the show today. From you all that's in the Atlanta area, I'm quite sure you've heard this story before. And it's a story pertaining to a human rights activist here in Atlanta, Georgia, that was recently pulled over by the APD and had a gun pointed in his face. And I guess our question to our listeners are the Atlanta Police Department and other surrounding agencies, are there over-policing in our black neighborhoods?
I think unfortunately the answer is probably yes. But I think it's a case-by-case basis, though.
Right.
Because I think with all the sensationalism of corruption in police forces and cops doing the wrong thing, I think cops are so nervous that they make rash decisions when they make stops.
Right.
So even though they don't want to do the wrong thing, they end up overdoing it when they stop somebody, and they don't need to necessarily resort to violence, resort to threatening to kill somebody because of any kind of random stop.
And especially an 82-year-old man, what threat does an 82-year-old man pose to a young gung-ho Atlanta police officer?
Now, I will say, when I was looking up the story, it say that the police were serving a warrant somewhere at an apartment, and then he was driving up, and as he drove up, they were trying to get him to leave, and then it went as far as pulling a gun on him.
Right.
I will say overall, there needs to be a rehauling of all police officers, because I think almost all of them go too far. You can find it in almost every state. Not all police departments and not all police officers, but yeah, I think it's a big problem.
Yeah, I do too. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, for all of you all that has not been following the story revolves around a 82-year-old human rights activist named John Beasley. John Beasley actually has an office downtown Atlanta that he was trying to get to on the morning of. As King Robert said, they were serving an actual warrant at a house and had blocked and cornered off the streets. They didn't want him to go down the streets where he had nowhere else to go because he had committed himself down the street. Well, what happened is the officer pulled him over, and within a minute after pulling him over, reached and grabbed his service revolver and already had it in his face. And it scared the 82-year-old man so bad because he himself was a 21-year veteran on the police force that clearly identified with the officer pulling his gun because they were trained. If an officer pulled his gun, he's pulling it to use deadly force, shoot to kill. And it terrified him to the point where he couldn't even go to work that whole week. And again, my question is, and we do want you all to respond, are police officers over-policing only in the black neighborhoods that they're doing this?
Well, I will say, and even in his case, the Atlanta Police Department issued an apology to him. I think that right there, right off the bat, let us know that they see that they did something wrong.
Right.
And again, just with all these, the videos that have come out of young black men and, getting pulled over, shot, killed, just mistreated, by the police. This is, I think, obviously like a big problem. And again, I know we've said this before, but it's going to come down to police departments working with the communities that they police.
Right.
And it may even help to have people from those communities, those police officers, policing those communities.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. And I think that it's hard for us to know exactly what the pressure situation is from the police officer's perspective.
Right.
So, they may feel threatened on things that we may not think that they should. You know what I mean? They might see something small in the car that triggers something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That could be a possibility of a threat against them. But like you said, I think it comes back to training. Though they have to be, you have to retrain on what situations to pull your gun, to pull a taser, to back away from somebody, to let it die. You know what I mean? It just seems like it's always an issue with excessive force.
And I couldn't agree more with what Robert said, is that we need to put our, and I'm just saying it because this is the way I feel, if we start doing the proper training and putting our own officers into our own communities, and what I'm saying is that, say if there was a black officer pulled over this 82-year-old black man in our community, seems to me like the black officer would have known and sized this 82-year-old guy up to say, well, man, that's somebody's granddaddy.
Right.
He's not going to do anything. But it was a implanted officer in our community, which he was a white officer in our community, that the first thing he did was he felt threatened, and I don't see why or how, but he did, and he drew his service weapon. So why not train black officers and put black officers in black communities instead of putting officers in the community that have no recourse as far as how to treat us in our own community.
But do you also, I definitely know I feel like the repercussions that they have to go through after these situations is the reason that they continue to do it. When you have police, the whole department, defending a bad cop, somebody who we can watch a video and obviously see that, they've made a mistake, they've done something wrong, and those police officers will continue to back them. I understand, that sense of brotherhood, family, that's your troop, but you ain't in Iraq, you ain't like out as a soldier. You are dealing with civilians you are here to help protect and serve. And when you cross those lines, I think definitely with that kind of job, the repercussions have to be bigger. They have to, set something, let people know that you are not above you're not above the law, and two, as you serve the law, you got to do it. You got to have to do it the right way.
Right. And like you said, they back their guys, but there has to be a point where there's got to be public repercussions for somebody who does something. Like wrong, purposely wrong, or even if it's accidentally, they have to be punished. And the public has to understand that there is repercussions for that. If not, you're just backing up guys that are doing wrong, and then people think the whole force is corrupted.
And even though the officer did openly in a interview, he apologized to Mr. Beasley, and Mr. Beasley's statement is, I accept the apology, but where do we go from here as far as this happening again? Because it's going to continue to happen, I think. And I think it's going to always happen, like you said, when we have officers that has come back from the different wars and have that mentality of they're in Afghanistan or somewhere, and they bring that back over here, and they hire. Do you know that if you've been in the military, you know, a lot of times they hire you as a police officer just because based off of your military background. But your military background, you could have been a sniper. You could have been anything. Your mentality is not going to be the same as a normal guy that just did 10 years in the military and came home. I mean, you're on a whole nother level. So everybody that you run across in your mind is trying to kill you.
That's a good perspective.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Let me read a couple. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Shamiki Wright, I think we've heard that name before.
What's up, Meek? I see you said, hey, love you.
She made a comment, a black young woman was just killed in her home on a wellness check to see if she was okay in Dallas, Texas. The Amber case sent the wrong message.
Right.
Police across the board need retraining if they're automatically in fear of their life. When they deal with African Americans, they shouldn't be on the force.
Right.
And that's a good point, because a lot of white police officers are just inherently afraid of black, or going into either black neighborhoods or dealing with black situations.
Right.
And they act out of fear instead of out of professionalism.
Right.
And they, they let their prejudgment, make their decisions for them. And it happens all the time. Some of them by accident, and some of them on purpose, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
basically, before they even get to the neighborhood, they've already what's what I'm looking for? Premeditated the issue, so to speak. When you get here, this is probably what's going to happen. You're going to come out, you're going to have the gunfight and everything. Right. And then you get there and you see a bunch of 14-year-old kids. And these are the same kids that you're going in with the SWAT team, with different high-power rifles at 14, 15 years old. And a lot of times we watch the news, these same kids have had their lives taken from them by police, over policing. Do they over police? Yes, they do.
Well, I want to hit on the comment by my sister about one. I mean, you see police; they're going to do a wellness check.
Right.
You're going to make sure somebody is okay, and you end up killing somebody. That's the complete opposite of what you set out to do.
Right.
So right there, that just shows us just the degree of how bad they need this training, and they need to switch this over. But also, I know she hit on the Amber case, and that's kind of what I was talking about with it sets a precedence.
Right.
And now this dude, I don't know how this whole thing's gonna turn out, but he could be looking at 10 years, maybe less.
Yeah.
Because somebody's already gone down for this, and now there's a reason to do it that way.
Yeah. And it makes you think also, bigger picture, and I don't want to sound like conspiracy theorist guy, but who are the young men being brought up that want to be cops? Are there people just that want to be cops because they want to start, lawfully killing people, or you know what I mean? Like, there's got to. You can't tell me that all these things are mistakes.
Yeah.
So there has to be more minority police, like you said, minority, or like I think one of you mentioned.
What that comes down to
in their neighborhoods.
That's like because just because you're a police officer doesn't mean you stop being a person.
Right.
And as a person, people have flaws. People make mistakes.
Right.
People do the wrong thing
without
it being a mistake. They can do it. We do bad things on purpose.
Right.
So when somebody comes out and like, oh, he's a cop, so I just trust him. I'm like, nah. I mean, you'll go and look at victims who are black and all. They go through their whole history of, oh, he once did this, she once did this. He had some marijuana in his pocket, and then here comes this cop. And I don't know nothing about him. You ain't gonna tell me nothing about him. You're gonna make sure I don't know nothing about them. And you're just gonna try to give me the excuse and the reason why. Oh, that's the reason why they got this low thing, because what they've been doing for the community. For all I know, that's a dirty cop who's been taking money for the community and doing bad things the whole time and has just got caught. So why are we giving you a break? That's what I'm saying. As a police officer, you should be held to a higher standard, not a lower one.
Right. Yeah. And I know when we were growing up, even like we were taught that cops were there to help us. Even in our neighborhood, we saw cops arresting people.
Yes.
People getting sometimes beat up by the cops a little bit, whatever. It wasn't like it is now, or it wasn't publicized as like it is now. But we were taught always that you can go to the cops, you can trust the cops, they're there to help you out. And now people are teaching their kids, hey, you can't always, you have to make sure the situation is right before the cops get there.
Or before you even call them.
Before you even call the cops, right?
People are making decisions now, and they're looking at the situation and saying, hold on.
Yeah.
Is it that bad enough to call the cops, or can we handle this outside by ourselves? Do we really need to call the police?
But then that could turn the situation back against you anyway, because then you could be, dealing with evidence, and you might have moved something, you might try to fix something before the cops get there, or put something away, and then you're in trouble again because you're trying to change the scene or something. Only because you were afraid that if a cop got there and saw certain things, they might take it a certain way.
Absolutely.
I want to bring up something because you, since you did say that, I've been watching this show, and I am going to do a little promotion for it. Raising Dion, it's a black mother raising her young son who has superpowers, and trying to keep him out of trouble from governments and all that stuff. But this last episode I watched, what happened? The kid Dion, the little black kid, he got in a argument with this white kid who stole his watch from him and then tried to run off with it. And he has a white teacher come over, and the white teacher comes up to Dion and asks him what happened, and the boy says that he hit me and pretty much lies, and Dion lets him know he stole my watch and I didn't hit him. And this white teacher still says that Dion's in trouble. He's taking him. He's gonna have to, get suspended and all this. And his mom, walks in, finds a black teacher, asks that black teacher to come over, and they talk to him. And at the end, the young kid, Dion, he asks his mom why this white teacher wouldn't believe him. He was like, "Why didn't he believe me?" And he was like, "Because they have a predisposition of, And what it comes down to, she talks to her sister and wants to know, is my young son old enough for me to talk to him and let him know that about how people are in this world?
Right. Now let me ask you a question. Is that on Netflix or regular TV?
That's on Netflix.
Okay, so you can tune in to Netflix, and what's the name of it?
Raising Dion.
Raising Dion. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back. And we want you to come back and join us in this interesting topic. You're listening or you're looking at Talk Show Kings. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? Do you have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com. And we thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here in one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call taking my community back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're going to do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're going to bridge that gap because we're going to get out of here, we're going to shake hands, we're going to find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved.
And welcome back to the show. We want to thank the new lookers that's looking at us now, but we want to appreciate it. And we want to thank and join King Doc for being here. Thank you, Doc.
Hey,
Doc finally made it in.
I was late, fam, but I'm here.
Absolutely.
Much love.
We're going to get back to the show. When we left off, we were speaking of the 82-year-old human rights activist, Joe Beasley, who APD drawed their gun on, and we want to pretty much get some more comments and your intake on it. And we're going to start with Robert. Robert, what's your final say on this story?
My final say? It's not my final say.
Not your final say.
I swear in the future you're going to hear me talking about it. But I still stand with where I started with, retraining. I also think we need that, that relationship between the community and the police. And I think we definitely have to break down those walls with these police officers who will not turn on a bad cop or will not turn on somebody who is not living up, to that badge and to that gun and to that responsibility. So overall, retraining, a better relationship with community.
Right. Okay. And also bringing in the cops that represent the community better. You know what I mean, as far as ethnicity.
I wasn't here, so I don't know what all was talked about, but I wanted to go deep on this because back when the Black Panther Party started, it started because of over-policing of the minority neighborhoods. And it actually started with just a sidewalk that people were getting hit at. And so they started to try to police their own neighborhoods and make sure that people slowed down. Then you had, when you always hear them playing the I Have a Dream speech by Dr. King, Well, they always cut off the part where Dr. King talked about police brutality and how the police were bashing people upside the head and things of that nature. That was in the 60s. Why are we still dealing with this nonsense in 2019? I mean, it makes no sense. We're all people. So, cut out the nonsense. And the fact that we're seen as some kind of overly aggressive, some kind of superhumans, and we have all this power and strength and this, that, and the other, and we're out to be these mindless Neanderthals that are out to hurt people. So you have to shoot us and tase us and this, that, and the other. Even when we call the police, they go to whomever we called them on before they come and talk to us. I mean, so where does it end? I mean, I think that the whole jailing of the black man, we have so many of us incarcerated that now our women and children are not safe. There are a lot of good men in the neighborhood, and when I was coming up, those men were in the neighborhood, and they wouldn't allow BS to happen in the neighborhood. You couldn't come out to Simpson Woods and do certain things because the guys in the neighborhood just wouldn't have it. They just wouldn't have it, point blank and simple. I mean, you couldn't come out there and beat no woman. The dudes out there would get together and do some things to you. They weren't trying to hear that. But now the dudes ain't there no more. So, I mean, with us gone, with us incarcerated, with us not in the neighborhood to protect our women and children, now you have all these dudes that weren't these jackasses that just don't have that self-training, that home training, that don't respect our women. All these women getting mugged at gas stations and things like that. Where the men at? It got to be some there. I mean, you telling me that none of y'all see this and gonna try to stop this dude? Come on. We got to do better than that.
Like I said earlier too, that's true. And like I said earlier too, though, and especially in big cities, there has to be a reason that there's people that become cops for certain reasons. Unfortunately,
right?
And there needs to be more people, more black, more brown police officers that are there to protect these communities.
Well,
and unfortunately, it's not a.
Here we have so many, it's ridiculous. I mean, we have a ton of them, but we got to still do better on our own.
There are police officers now that shouldn't be police officers.
Boom. Right. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
When Mayor Bottoms took over, their police force was down 1,200 officers, meaning that they were short 1,200 officers. The officers that they have on the streets now are working triple and overtime. So imagine if you're an officer and you've done, say, 18 hours and you go out on a call and you're tired, you're sleeping, you really don't want to hear anything about what's going on. So your main objective is to close the case and investigate it and go home. But they don't do that. Somebody winds up losing their life because this officer was tired and he worked 18 to 19 hours. So what they're doing now, Doc, is they're hiring officers from warehouse workers to forklift drivers. If you don't have a criminal record, hey, come on down to ARPD. Right. We'll put you in an 8-week training course, and after 8 weeks, you're out on the streets.
And they're not even teaching them the law.
Absolutely.
So a lot of police think that whatever they say is the law, and that's simply not the truth. I mean, police are there to enforce the law. So if I'm not breaking the law, leave me alone. Yeah. Don't bother me. Don't bother people who aren't breaking the law.
I think that's probably one of the other biggest problems is just the police not knowing the law, and definitely because you'll see on a lot of these tapes where you say that they feel like they are the law, where they will, feel like they can arrest or handcuff somebody because they're speaking to them in a rude way. You have the right to say whatever you want. It's there in the Constitution, one of the first ones right there at the top. Right. And so they should at least know that. But when you have that kind of environment where you can let the ego run wild and they start feeling all big again because of gun and all that, and again, that can be tied to lack of training. Right. Like, you got to have that kind of stuff in control.
But see, the only thing they basically teach them is the memoranda. They teach them the memoranda and kick them to the streets. How many times have you seen live streaming of people that's photographing the police officer and they're telling the police officer the law? Well, no, officer, I have the rights. Well, no, officer, if you look to Jones versus the state of Georgia, and I have the rights to do it, and the officer like, oh my God, I didn't know that.
Officer's like,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
It needs to be part of the training of the law.
A lot of times,
know the law before you get the badge.
And a lot of times, the officers will try to arrest somebody, and then they'll say they arrested them for resisting arrest. Well, if I didn't do anything in the first place, how are you arresting me for resisting arrest? You have the right to arrest me in the first place.
Some of them get made to ask questions.
Hey, Shamiki said, what about the people who are just driving through and are not a part of the particular police officer community? And then Ty Carr says, what's up, bro?
What's up,
King Ty Carr? He said it's never going to end. I disagree with you wholeheartedly. I don't have that never mindset with anything because my mindset is that we're going to vote in a younger, smarter Congress. We're going to vote in younger governors, younger mayors, younger police chiefs. We're going to vote in people, and these young cats, they ain't really trying to hear that black-white shit stuff no more. I mean, that's dying out. That's an older generation, and we need to get that nonsense out because it's fading away, not fast enough for me, but it's fading, and it will end, in my opinion. I strongly think it'll end.
Just like we said, the training needs to be better or it needs to be longer or whatever. It needs to be better characters too, better character hiring.
Yes.
Like you have to hire people with a certain
level of,
you know what I mean?
You have to
you can't
use
just
some
hire
kind of
anybody.
personality.
How much you train? I don't know.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Do a self-evaluation.
Just like any other jobs, right? When they do
they're not asking the pertinent questions. Is if you get in a hostile situation, would you kill 4 people to save 1? Questions like that.
Right.
You know, and see what the answer are. Right?
Yeah,
Would you kill 1 to save 4?
Now, I feel you on that one. And, well, think about this also. Every time they find those hate groups in Facebook and they find police in there, those police should be not only fired, but everybody they're arrested that's a minority, they should question that case. They should go back and investigate. You cannot tell me, you can tell somebody, you can put somebody in the KKK group, in not even Klan, but just racist in general. You can put them in a racist group and hear them talking badly about or poorly about minorities and their opinion of minorities, and then give them authority over them to put them in jail. Are you serious?
Right.
Come on, we got to do better than this. That's nonsense.
It happens all the time.
Yeah,
Right.
it don't have to keep happening. And did you see that it's a senator? I wish I could think of your name because I gave you much respect. It's a senator that calling for the dismissal of the judge who gave the guy jail time for missing the jury duty.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, a guy missed jury duty, and the judge was giving him probation, and the judge said because he's black.
He said it.
He said it. Yes.
He said it in what context?
In the context as he didn't want
He
to
gave
set
him
the
probation
precedent
and 10 days in jail.
He didn't want
And
to
he
set the
did 10
precedent
days.
that black people could think that they could be late or not go to jury duty.
Was the judge, I'm assuming, was white?
I don't know the color of the judge.
He was
But
white.
I don't care what, he could have been dark chocolate. And if he said that shit, his ass needed, if he said that, he needed to go. Exactly.
No, I hear you. I'm just wondering what
You cannot be. Well,
he was white Joe. He gave the young man probation and 10 days in jail. But after the media got a hold of it, he tried to go in and recant. But guess what? The young man had already done the 10 days in jail.
Right.
You know.
And think about this man got a job, no record, no criminal.
Yeah,
and even if he had the biggest criminal, if he had been convicted of murder back in the past, that has nothing to do with what's going on right now.
And just on this topic, as we talk about judges, like I'm surprised that this other judge is coming at him.
Yes.
But we need more of that because I will say this. If anybody know the name Brock Turner, he is a rapist. I'll say it again, always. He is a rapist. This is the young man who at USC, I think, raped the young lady behind the trash can. Behind the dumpster. Was caught by people doing it. They had to chase him because he ran away from them. And then judge gave him, 3 months probation.
Yes.
The excuses were, he's too young to be in jail.
Exactly.
To go to jail.
It would mess up
because
his
what it
family.
would do to him. Because of what it would do to 18, 17, 18. I mean, just starting college, I think.
Yeah, I thought he was in his 20s.
So 20s,
I'm not sure, but I know he was old enough to go to jail for it, and he should have, but he was from a good home and he didn't want to mess up his life. Yeah. You can take that good home nonsense and kill it.
Man.
Because at that point, a judge's job is not to look at, this person's background and all this, that, and the other. Once the person is convicted of whatever they're convicted of, that's what the judge needs to base his
go by those guidelines.
And they gave that kid 3 months probation.
Exactly.
Wow.
Man.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
And I just see a young man get out of prison after serving 18 years. Kim Kardashian made a phone call to the prison.
Yeah.
After serving 18 years, this young man finally got out. He went in at 16. I think he's like 39 years old now. He just got out because of Kim Kardashian made a phone call last week.
Was it a video call? That's terrible.
That's the only way you can get anything.
Sheila
Trump.
Dawson Wright says Congress is where we need to start. All of them old need to go. I agree. Hey, we need to get Murder Mitch out there as soon as possible. Mitch McConnell, we need to get him out there as soon as possible, because even if Trump impeached, y'all do realize that impeachment is just charging somebody with something. The House can charge him with something, but he has to go to the Senate for the actual trial. And Murder Mitch, he got his, he ain't convicting Trump of nothing. No matter what the evidence is, no matter what he does.
I don't know. It depends on, I always say it depends on the blowback that he's going to get, which means depending on what comes out of the investigations that they get, if it's 100% where they can't back him up, they're going to have to start walking away from him.
I was going to say, somebody's going to have to make
it. Absolutely. It's like they putting it all in the wash, and when it gets done washing, it's coming out.
He turning
Murder Mitch
left
before
and right.
he was elected, Murder Mitch was saying how he was an imbecile, he was a moron, there was no way he needed to be in office, so on and so forth. The minute his crushed ass got in office, he changed all that and kissed his butt just like everybody else.
Because of what I said, at that point, he didn't see Trump as somebody who could help him or would be an asset to him.
Right.
As soon as Trump became somebody who could help him and became an asset, he wanted to be under that wing. Now, if this go far enough where Trump can't be an asset anymore, he's gonna do the same thing.
It's all about self-preservation.
Absolutely. Still got to have a job.
When it comes down to it, it's going to
And we need congressmen with a lot more integrity than that. We need to make him set his ass down somewhere. Shamiki Wright says it don't matter what the context. He's a judge. I feel you on that one too, Shamiki.
And I just want to, while we're here, are we moving? Because the stuff we're talking about right now is kind of on the next topic.
Yeah,
if we can go ahead and get into it. So the past couple of days, a few days ago, and I know you probably were looking into this because I know you in the military. Donald Trump, out of the blue, had our soldiers who were on the North Syrian border leave. Now, they were there with our allies, the Kurds. Now, the Kurds helped us fight against ISIS, and the Kurds were actually helping us imprison about 100,000 ISIS members in that north area where we were, where we had our stronghold and where they were living. Right. Now, Donald Trump knew that Turkey wants to attack the Kurds. Turkey doesn't like the Kurds, and they're on that northern border with Syria. And so Donald Trump, and let me go ahead and put this out, of course, has 2 towers in Turkey, 2 Trump towers in Turkey, and before he even became president, said he had a conflict of interest with Turkey. He said it like it was a joke, but here it is. Now, he decided a couple of days ago to take away our U.S. troops, and the very next day, Turkey attacked the Kurds. At this point, I just saw it a little bit before I came here. It looks like that area where the Kurds were living is on fire, burning down. They started with air raids, then they put ground troops to come out, and right now those Kurds are saying that they have lost about 953, that's men, women, and children, 953 people, and at least, if not hundreds, maybe even thousands of ISIS members have escaped since they've been attacked, and the Kurds are leaving. Those ISIS members are leaving and going back home to join ISIS right now.
Do they feel that Donald Trump played a major role in that?
It was his entire decision. It was his entire decision against the advice of his generals, against the advice of everybody going into this.
To hide his corruption. Huh?
No, you know, big decisions like that, you don't usually have the president wake up and out of nowhere. You know, the Pentagon is finding out about this after he's done it.
Right, and we want you to hold that thought. We're going to get back into this amazing conversation.
Put your thoughts in the comments.
Absolutely.
So we can, because I got some stuff I need to say.
You're tuned in to Talk Show Kings. We'll be right back.
Big fun out
here today at one of our community outreach days with our sound truck, and our sound truck is used for just what you see. We come out to community days, we play loud music, and be able to just have a good time with it and enjoy our community. At a sheriff's office, you get to see us in a little different light. We're not always out there writing tickets or locking people up. We come out to your community day and be a part of your day and help you celebrate your community. And this is just one of the ways that we can do that, was with our sound truck. We're here today at one of our communities. We brought our ice cream truck out A lot of people like to laugh when I say the sheriff's office owns an ice cream truck, but this is exactly what it's for, is we bring it out to our communities. We give away ice cream. We don't charge for the ice cream. The ice cream is free. And we have partners in our businesses in our community that help pay for the ice cream so that we can give it away for free. And we give it away. We go to schools. This is just one of many events that we bring our ice cream truck to. We go to the school systems. We come out to community days, block parties. We just come out and see you and help you enjoy and celebrate your community. Thank you.
Show. You are tuned in to where we're having big fun at
TV 1061.
You're tuned in to Talk Show Kings. We're going to go back into the program. We were speaking highly on Donald Trump and the Kurds.
Yes. Donald Trump pulled back the troops, but the thing that's most intriguing to me is that Trump was allies with one side, Putin was allies with the other side.
Right.
Now, to me, you got both big boys in the house. Seems like Trump would have told his side, y'all need to get together and shake hands, kiss, and make up, or whatever the hell y'all need to do, but this shit needs to be over. Mm-hmm. Putin would have said the same to his side, and this would have ended. Simply because you don't play with Big Brother.
Right.
Big Brother has the hand to slap you across the mouth if you need it. But Donald Trump kissing Putin's ass. So, hey, these conversations, who's to say he didn't have a conversation with Putin and then decide to pull the troops? He tried to pull the troops once before,
right,
and that's when our Secretary of, that's when he quit.
He resigned. Mattis?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he resigned because he was saying that that's BS. You know, we don't agree to something. The U.S. don't give our word and then back out on it. That's just not us as a people. As we should have more integrity than that. But yeah, we have a president with that lies more than a carpet. So.
And it all comes down to money. Like I said, those towers are over there. Mm-hmm. He already said, even before this, he's like, oh, I make a lot of money, in Turkey. And so he did exactly what Turkey and what Putin then wanted him to do. And again, not putting what, our best interest as a country first. And then he goes on TV, though, and he says, he was like, the Kurds didn't help us in World War II. Now, that was part of his excuse. The Kurds didn't help us in World War II. Now, as our allies, leaving them there to die, what do you think as an ally, if you're Germany or Japan, who are allies right now, and we were fighting them in World War II, what do you think if you one of them? Because these guys just didn't show up to the fight. We were actually fighting you. So what do you think if you were coming from Germany or Japan? How should you feel as our allies?
Anybody, any world power or any small country or any country whatsoever, we go to them and say we need help doing this, that, and the other. Why would you do that? If you know that at any time we can say screw you and let somebody come in there and slaughter your people. Yeah. I mean, it's the loss of life that this man encourages is just horrendous. From his whole Civil War thing, that's encouraging loss of life here. From sending people who haven't done anything. Now, I ain't got a problem. If it's a criminal and they're illegal, send them back. If they're not a criminal and they've been here for a long time, then, hey, find some kind of way to do something better than just send them back, especially if you know they're going to die. But his disregard for human life is deplorable, in my opinion. It's just horrible. I mean,
we haven't had anything under his watch as far as comeback or anything, have we? Because I know we had the Iranian war, We had Iran controversy, but we haven't had anything under Donald Trump's watch, have we?
Yeah, he almost dropped the bomb on Syria. You remember he woke up and I remember I almost dropped the bomb on Syria. Yeah, they better watch themselves.
But we haven't done anything outside of that under his
People really think that there's a button. There ain't no button. His dumb ass gonna just smash and start dropping nuclear bombs. It ain't that simple.
No, I was gonna say, other than that, I mean, we still have like wars and stuff going on that he's been wanting to pull people back.
Right.
I guess
in order to have a war, then Congress has to vote on it.
Now I know our military has helped a lot of countries survive. You know, in world peace. But the thing about it is what Donald Trump is doing is seems like he's turning his back on the same people that have helped us. And I don't know what the help was.
In all fairness, Barack Obama did the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, when he first got in, he pulled troops, and I don't think it was a good time for that.
Okay.
Now, we don't want our troops. Like Donald Trump says, we can't police the world. I'm not disagreeing with him on that. Mm-hmm. We can't police the world. We can't go out and say that everybody who has a conflict, we're going to go in and be Captain Save or whomever. However, if we give our word that we're going to do something, we need to do it. Period. If we're not going to go there, I get it. But you don't go in there and then pull out and you know
Donald
what I'm saying?
Trump, he doubles down on it. Like you said, Obama did the same type of things, but it's different because he doubles down on it by tweeting, by just being so arrogant in the public. You know what I mean? It just comes off so much different.
Well, he said, not Obama, Trump said he could walk down Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and still be elected president, and he meant it. Have you seen the militias that are gearing up for the Civil War? All bullshit. You laughing?
Yeah.
When Donald Trump is impeached, some bullshit might really pop off.
This is not the
30s. You're not about to go out and start shooting people and not get shot back. I'm just saying. So some nonsense might really pop off.
It's already has and with that same group you're talking about, white supremacists. Do you know this past year that acts of terror went down everywhere across the world, and they went up here? They went up here, but went down everywhere across the world. And a lot of our attacks, the majority of our attacks, and the FBI and the CIA put out this information for the past couple of years have been from white supremacist groups. And with him in there, some going to happen. Some already been happening. They've been getting more bold, and they show up in the numbers. Right. What's going on over here? Showing up at Walmart's, all these different places, just shooting it up.
And they're doing it on American soil. Okay, they're not doing it across country.
There's a difference in one person going and doing a crazy act and getting arrested, than having a large group of people going and doing the same thing. If you get a large group of people going to do something, you have a large group of people retaliate. Right. And that's what we don't need. I ain't trying to be funny, but the Crips and the Bloods and the Vice Lords and all these other gangs, that's training. If they can do that to themselves, what can they do to others? We really need to think about what we're doing, because this is not the 30s and 40s no more. Yeah. You're not going to see black people just hanging from trees and running scared and this, that, and the other. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to say that you're not going to see people hanging, but I'm going to say it's going to be some repercussions behind it. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's when nobody's going for the nonsense no more. Yeah. But it shouldn't come to that, because it's not needed.
No.
I mean, it's really nonsense. And those militias, they represent such a small group of people. Most white people don't want nobody's trying to kill people for no reason. And think about all the white people and black people who ain't involved in it who might die from it.
Right, absolutely.
No, but
that's
innocent really people.
That's the thing, right there.
Yeah. But what them groups got to come to terms with is Donald Trump is a bad president. This has been a bad presidency, and he's not doing a good job. And there's reasons to impeach him, and you can get as mad as you want to. You can get as angry as you want to. Right. He still need to be impeached, and you can wild out, like you said. That's a lot of people have been put in some training, and stuff ain't gonna go down how you want it to, just because this dude doing a horrible job. We had our first black president get scrutinized for tan suits for Dijon Mustard. These were the big scandals. Yeah, the selfie camera. Do you remember that? These were the big scandals. And we had to sit right here and eat that, because we know that's not something normally that we know the reason why he's getting that back. We know why he's getting that. And so we got Trump come back and Trump out here doing it to the worst presidency ever.
When you have people that can break the law on national television and nothing she used to, well, I hadn't seen her in a minute, but Kellyanne Conway, when she's using her position to promote, and she knows she's not supposed to do that, and says, well, so I'm gonna do it whatever. When they tell Donald Trump, you cannot call Ukraine and try to get them to investigate Biden, and then he gets on national television afterwards and tell China to do it too. That is a blatant disrespect for the law and the Constitution.
But it's also
impeachment.
Yeah, and he showed it with Russia because he did the same thing with them, but nobody did nothing. That's why.
He showed what he thinks about our capabilities or our whatever towards him. He says that this is me and ain't that y'all gonna do about it.
Now I hear Doc when he said that President Trump says that you can't police everything and everybody, but yet he's still trying to police the borders and put the wall up. That's policing at its highest form.
Well, I ain't trying to be funny, but Mexicans were going back. When Obama was president, there were more Mexicans going than there were coming.
Right.
So, I mean, come on.
Right.
Now, when he became president, for whatever reason, everything started flooding back this way. But
because all the problems that were going on down south or south of the border, and not having a president who is equipped with, mentally at all to handle those problems. Like it's that's him dealing with the problem. We saying, has he dealt with anything? That's something he dealt with.
Can you imagine the produce? How much a jar of orange juice would cost if we had to pay the people who picked oranges minimum wage, especially if they bump it up to $15 an hour.
Yeah.
How much is a gallon of orange juice gonna cost?
Enough that I ain't drinking orange juice.
Exactly. I mean, how much is I don't know, collard greens, any fruit and vegetable that somebody has to pick with their hand. How much is it going to cost?
I might be out there picking them myself. You
understand? But what he's doing to industries. Listen to farmers, not just black farmers, white farmers. Farmers are saying that the things he's doing with his tariffs, that they're destroying, because not only he's subsidizing, that's cool, but when he's no longer in office, are they going to go back to those farmers, or are they going to go with the relationship they established once he got rid of that connection?
And the farmers have been saying this themselves, that it will take them generations to rebuild those kind of connections, to have the kind of money flow and the kind of exports that they once had. It's going to take them, but you leave it to him and listen to him say it, and he said that it's easy to win these.
Think about another thing though. Donald Trump is a symptom, not the cause. If we blame Donald Trump because he's the figurehead, but almost everything he does has to go through Congress. Almost everything he does has to go through somebody. The president cannot write a bill. The president cannot write anything and send it to Congress for it to be made into law. Somebody, a congressman, has to do that.
And bring it before him.
I don't think he's going to jail, man.
I think he is. In fact, I would go as far as to say I know he is. I said that before he was elected, and I stand by it. When he's no longer president, his ass going to jail.
That's why he finna fight tooth and nail to stay president.
Hey, Dale, thank you for watching. We watch Divas too. I had a little situation I was dealing with today, so I couldn't. But
absolutely right.
Yeah, Dale, talk show Divas. She's watching.
What up, Deb?
He already called Ukraine.
I mean, he has a blatant disrespect for laws and Constitution that I just don't understand how anybody can say it's okay.
And he's a hypocrite to the point where, once those laws come down to, like, let's say a couple of black kids in a park in New York, he'll say give them an electric chair with no evidence, no proof, and we can sit right here and listen to his bit dealing with the police and how he feels he should be treated.
After 2 days of starving those kids, they confessed. They kind of went along with what was going on, but they hadn't eaten for 2 days. They haven't been given proper counsel or nothing. So they admitted to it. They actually followed along with the story that she was giving them. So he says he based it on that, and he refuses to back down. But I think it's all about them being minority kids, in my opinion.
Because even once the information came out of what happened and what was going on, he still continued with the same thing.
Exactly.
With Donald Trump right now, I think that the majority of the people in his administration is more concerned with job security. While he's still president, I mean, they still got to have job security for themselves. But afterwards, I think it'll be a whole nother ball game.
You guys know the Biden son's name? I can't think
Joshua.
of it. Joshua.
Yeah.
Joshua Biden friend.
Josh, I'm sorry.
Hunter
Josh,
Biden.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden?
Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Biden's kid, he had a friend that was part of the board of that energy company and asked him to work for him, making $52G a month. Now that's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
When he told his dad he was going to work with him, his dad said, "I hope you know what you're doing," right? They were investigated behind that. The Biden boy was investigated. A year later is when Biden told the prosecutor, "You're not doing enough investigation of corruption," and demanded he leave. But that was a year after the investigation was over. Now, time out, because where I'm finna go is Ivanka and Trump Jr. Made over $52 million doing the same thing. And they have offices with the United States government. Biden he had no connection with the government. He was a private citizen doing the job. So how can, and I'm so sick of this deflection stuff.
Yes, that's
you
what
did
I
something.
always.
Right. Well, he did it too.
Right, yeah,
how you gonna talk about me back in 1834?
Right.
Now, the funny thing about his son Hunter Biden today came out and said if his dad wins, he'll stop working for the company that he works for in China. And the thing with the prosecutor in Ukraine, Joe Biden didn't go in there himself and was like, "Oh, I got to get rid of this guy."
Right.
It was from the UK. Everybody in Europe
it was like,
was like, "This dude is corrupt. We need him moved." And Biden joined that group to say yes.
But they were saying that he was not investigating corruption. That was their problem with him. He was a prosecutor who was letting other people steal money.
Yep.
So in essence, he's telling him that you need to not necessarily be investigating my son, but investigating corruption.
Right.
That's not the same. That's not the same thing as saying, okay, hey, you need to, and then putting the call away where nobody's supposed to be able to see it. A 30-minute phone call that was 2,000 words or less than 2,000 words. Come on, seriously.
I mean, the man, he's not that articulate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many words were repeated?
Yeah.
Maybe he has some peanut butter in his
That
it don't take but 15 words to send you to prison.
that transcript is doctored.
Yeah.
It's not the complete and total truth.
So and what's funny, because even with the doctor, with it being doctor, it looked bad for him. He's still saying,
exactly.
First, do something for us. No, he do something for us first, though.
Why the bald head is so quiet today? What's wrong with you?
I say my pieces.
Oh, speaking of pieces, we got to take a piece of break. Go ahead.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're tuned in to Talk Show Kings.
We're going to take a quick.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we thank you for your time. Do you have
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Hi, this is Bill Duke, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Welcome back to Talk Show Kings.
Welcome back to that same.
We're having a great show, having fun today, talking about some serious topics, but as usual, adding our interesting takes on them. I want to continue with this one about some guy named Trump and, the corruption that he is involved in, the scandals that may or may not be taking place. Where do we leave off, guys?
When we were talking about the guy who raped a woman behind the dumpster, Shamiki said he ain't too old for a bullet. I was like, I need to take you to dinner because I'm playing. But thank you, Shamiki. I appreciate you. I really, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%.
And I call that dude out, point him out all the time because it's not written down for people to know. Brock Turner, if you're hollering at him, with ladies, anybody you see him, he is a rapist.
Right.
Brock Turner.
Yes.
Just saying.
Okay.
Yes. And not the Brock that was on Havoc. That was on the Spider-Man movie.
Got it?
Okay. Back to some seriousness. Are we going to change topic or are we going to stay here? Because, you know, I can talk about Trump all day. Cause
I wanted to see if y'all saw that Deion Cole special, but we can move to that.
Yes, I did. And you know, the main thing I took from Deion Cole's special, I was cracking up laughing, but the slap, that was too funny. Sound like a plan.
Slap?
Deion Cole, the comedian, he's an actor on Blackish. He was a writer, then he became an actor on the show, and he's a comedian. He just did a stand-up. Man, when I tell you it's funny.
Y'all watch Blackish?
What did he hit on? I watched Blackish. You play on Blackish?
He plays on.
I used to write.
The offbeat guy who
at the office.
Yes.
Yeah, he worked in the office.
Yes. He started off the show. He was like, "White folks, do y'all have any problems with black folks?" Everything got quiet. He was like, "Nothing." So everybody just agreed that black folks are super cool. He doesn't know. Watch this, black folks. Do y'all have a problem with white folks? He was like, "Everybody, oh, I got something to tell you." He was funny. He's real funny. Yeah. But I guess he can't go on.
What did he hit on? What he was hit on? What topics? What?
He didn't really hit on topics per se. He just a funny cat. I mean, he like one of them cats that if you went somewhere and he just was talking, you'd be cracking up laughing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not that he's gonna talk about and say, you know, cars, this, that, and other. He just talk and it's funny. Like he said, he messed up everybody. He was like, think about it. Is Arby's like a word for RB, meaning roast beef? Because you know that's what they serve. He's like, okay, I messed up, y'all. I'm sorry. But I was like, man, that's deep. On one of his specials that I saw earlier, he said, why there no B batteries? Because they don't want no batteries that stand for. Anyway, everybody ain't seen it, so we can't go that far. But if you get a chance to, that Deion Cole special, it's funny.
Another joke, though, real quick. He was saying, when he was talking about, he was talking about the old school songs, when he said, he was talking about After 7. He said,
"Oh yeah,
I give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars, and the mountains. Yeah. I'll give you everybody repeated the last verse.
And all
like, today,
that you wish
he was like, today,
and
like,
more.
I can't repeat that, but
yeah, you can say it.
He was like, I give you this dick. And that's what they talk about. He's like, the women like it.
Yeah, like, dude, must know God personally to give away all that. Oh yeah. He said, don't nobody write like that no more. Now young kids be like, I give you this. Man, he had me dying. Oh man, and he is funny.
If the women don't command that.
Oh yeah. But I think it's funny. But on the same note, I still think it's part of that with the older men being incarcerated.
Yeah.
The younger men don't know how to act. I saw this video of this black boy slap his mama.
Right.
He was in a room with in a kitchen or something with his mom, and his friend was in the living room, and his mom said something to him, and he slapped her and said, "Don't you ever disrespect me."
Did she slap him back?
No, she calmed him down.
I was gonna say, when's the funeral?
Absolutely. Exactly. We got too many of us not around, and our young boy.
Wait, how old was he? Not that it matters, but how old was he?
He was the same size as his mother, and he was a male, so he's probably stronger.
How old was he?
I don't know.
But
I mean, it was a video.
So what did his mother do afterwards?
I don't know. That's all I saw.
Yeah, he's.
I don't know what to say about that. I don't think that she could have took him.
Yeah.
I mean, all BS aside, she's his mom and all that, and yeah, we had respect.
But he did it. I'm assuming he lived in that house and he went to sleep that evening.
I'm assuming the same thing.
Okay, so have we heard from him since? Because I don't know.
Hey, I say you take something real hot and burn him on the bottom of the feet in his sleep. That way, every time he take a step, he know, hey, I'm just saying, you ain't got to, kill nobody or nothing, but I guarantee you, if his dad was there, he wouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what. Just think. I don't think any of us can imagine ever doing something like that.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Ever doing something
because
like that.
It was a different time.
Not even now,
I mean, it's a different time. a different time, but also, I mean, Donald Trump had his dad. Look at him.
His dad helped make him. He's been a millionaire since like
that was his dad gave him his first loan for $2 million too.
I mean, that's a small loan. Though.
Nah,
he hasn't got a loan for $2 million.
And he also was making money, like getting paid from the company before that as a little kid. Exactly. So he had millions by the time he was 18, but way before that $2 million loan and more money than that.
Yeah, he had these diamond bootstraps.
He's filed bankruptcy 8 times.
Wow.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We I hate to say we, but I guess us as a group voted to put him in charge of, the money for the whole country.
See, that's kind of, skeptical. That's kind of leery because he got close to 2 million less votes.
Yeah,
than
so
him. It was 180,000.
Yeah, that was
1.8 million less votes. Put money on it.
I put money on it. How much money you want to put on it?
$2. Whoa. $2. I don't do big money because if you don't pay me, I have to whip your ass for $20. I'll be mad. $2. 1.8 million less votes.
I got that in my pocket.
1.8 million.
1.8 million or $2? Because we're going to have to get you.
Well, no, see, $2 ain't. But $20, I'm going to be mad for real. Yeah. So I don't bet nothing that you're going to be upset.
And he still won, even though he was that.
Yes, because of the electoral colleges.
Right, absolutely.
And then you got to think about the way they do gerrymandering. That's where they take different pockets of people and they twerk the map to where.
Right.
Yeah. Tweak, not twerk.
Twerk.
They tweak the map to where these votes count a certain way.
I just heard over there.
You never heard me laugh before, bro? Wow. My nieces, my nephew's kids pick at my laugh. That's
I'm gonna take them.
They tweak the map. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at his face. Hey, we got pause.
You were thinking 1.8 is 2.8, closer to 3 million, not 1 million.
No, that ain't the end. It said leads by. Read how much he won by.
Okay,
but don't stop. Now we keep talking while you're looking this up.
I think that whatever margin he won by, he shouldn't have won. I wish he wouldn't have won whatever margin he won.
But how many elections do you win with less votes?
Yeah.
So it was 65,844,610 to 62,979,636. So the difference is 2,864,974.
I got no bread over. I got you. Wow. I was almost 100 on that. Okay,
so it was worse. So overall, it was a worse whipping than Doc thought.
Yes, but you notice how he always brags about how he's did the most this and the most that in history. Every time he does something, he comes out with it was the perfect phone call. Nobody knows more about than me, and it don't matter what you talking about.
Right.
If you say yeast infections, he'll say nobody knows. I am the most yeast infection person knowing
I know more than the general.
Exactly. Exactly. I am a stable genius.
What
person calls himself a stable genius?
Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
He knows everything more than everybody. That's
why
he's president, though.
This is the man that you put in office, America.
Hey, and one of them still in there. Some of them still want him there. Regardless of what he does, it's okay. That's the thing I don't get and I don't like. Is that regardless of what he says and does, it's okay, and it shouldn't be like that.
And I will say,
are we ready for this another 4 years?
No. And that stigma should stick with each Republican in the Senate for the rest of their
congressperson. Each congressperson in the Senate. Each congressperson, not just Republican, Democrat, liberal, independent, whoever you are. If you are not acting with any kind of sense, then we need to get you up out of there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pose a question to each one of you kings here. Will this American society make it another 4 years if Donald Trump is elected?
Definitely. America is not going to fall under this one person. We may have a civil war, We may actually fight each other. We may have whatever. Now, I'm hoping that during the time of discord, one of the or a few of the other nations don't get together and attack us, because we will be weak and vulnerable as we are now if we're all fighting one another.
Right.
However, I don't think that we will let that one person destroy us totally. I just don't see it. This country's too great. We've gone too far and had too many accomplishments for it all to come falling down like that, in my opinion.
Right.
I don't want to be one of those no never people, because I'm pretty sure every great civilization that has fallen has said no, not us, never, when they were at the top of it, from the Romans, Greeks, whoever. Anything built up can be knocked down and can fall. And this right here, I will say I would hope and I would think that going 4 more years with him would not completely wipe us out, but it's definitely, I got to say, a possibility. And
much respect, King.
It's a possibility, and it's definitely not going to do anything good for us going in the future. Him being the president, it's not going to come out good.
No. I would agree.
I think that with this administration, if it were to happen and he is elected for another 4 years, I think that it's going to slow our economy down. It's going to turn it flip side down. And I just don't think that we're going to be moving forward with Donald Trump for another 4 years.
I think we'll hit one of the biggest recessions, the one we just came out of.
Yeah, that's why I'm optimistic that he won't have another 4 years. I think that it's going to be, I think we're going to turn out the vote. I think by the time it's time to do that, everybody's going to understand the dire situation that we're going to be in to get him out of there. I think I got faith in the country.
I will say, speaking on that, looking at the poll numbers, which of course he went off on Fox about this, because they showed that 51% of the country is in favor of impeaching Donald Trump and removing him from office.
Yes.
That's 51% of the country.
62% of females are in favor of him getting impeached and removed, because he had a big female voter turnout, and people didn't expect that.
Has anybody heard anything about the millennials and how they feel about the voting as far as voting him back in office? Because now a lot of the millennials who were not able to vote has had birthdays and they can actually vote now.
I will say,
have you heard any feedback?
Being a millennial, I'll say that's another group. I think they Generation X or Y. They one of them letters or something. That generation coming in right now, they're not for any of this.
Right. Okay.
Like it's going to be. I mean, I know the Democrats on that part. Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, definitely with a lot of that young vote. A lot of them like clinging and going towards those two. Joe Biden, I like Biden. Dude, he seems like pretty cool dude. And I think might be the best chance to get him out of there. But a lot of the he got it like all the other people.
I normally don't really comment, but I like Yang. If I had the chance, I would vote for Yang. I don't even see him making it, but I would vote for Yang if I could. I'm part of the Yang gang.
Yang talking about giving everybody $1,000 a month.
Yep.
So that that doesn't sound bad to me.
Everybody
who's a citizen.
Is he like one of the yin yang?
Yang figures that a strong economy means that everybody has money to spend. Nobody's sitting around starving to death. I'm for that. Like right now.
But unfortunately, that's not reality though.
Okay, gotcha. Exactly. There's enough money out there.
But I mean,
absolutely.
Elizabeth give everybody.
And there's no such thing as can't. Do you realize how much money we give rich people now?
And how they incorporate it. Right. Because they can generate it, but how they incorporate it out.
I know there's money's available, but I'm saying you got to be careful with just giving money to people that haven't done anything to earn that money.
To a certain extent.
To try to stimulate the economy.
To a certain extent, but to me, that's not enough money to be dangerous.
Right.
No, but still, you have to.
Have you ever driven on 75, 85, going down to 20, 75, 85? You see that tent city down there?
Yeah.
It's growing. I mean, there's the homeless rate's growing, the children out there starving and stuff.
What also is growing? The number of billionaires in the world has grown. Exponentially. Like
when Reagan was president, the disparity between the poor and the rich grew faster than any other time in history. I don't know if Trump has surpassed it, but I know he's coming close to it.
All right. We're going to stop right here. We truly enjoyed you for joining the show.
Thank
we
you,
want to
baby.
let the king say a final word for today, and we're going to close the show.
I'd like to thank baby girl just for being who you are, and I'm so crazy about you, woman. Also, I would like to say that the men, we really need to watch our women and children.
Amen.
As far as the black men and just people in general, we need to open businesses. We need to shop amongst each other. We need to circulate our dollars, and we need to be there for our kids because they need us. This stuff where kids are going without any guidance is really hurting us as a people.
All right.
Well, I guess just to add on to that, for anybody out there, we gotta work harder in our communities. I mean, even going further than family, friends, kids in the community, we can always do things to help outreach, not all up to the police officers that they place in our neighborhoods to make sure that our neighborhoods are all right. Also, a shout out to the family, everybody watching. Hey, that's Chi-Chi.
I just want to say thanks to everybody watching.
Right.
Tell your friends to watch. Tell your friends to tell their friends to watch.
Right.
We'll see y'all next week.
All right, and I want to say thank you and God bless you for tuning in today. I want to say thank you to my mother, who I love so much, to my beautiful wife, Natalie. I definitely want to give a shout out to Fierce Storm Production. You can catch them on YouTube. Also to Mr. Felix Washington, our executive producer. Also to Marcus Given, our technical and media support. Also to Miss Shantae Barksdale, who represents us through the media. And we would just like to shout out to those people that make this happen. But most importantly, we want to give a shout out to you, our fans. We want you to join us each and every Sunday at 6:30 on TV 1061. We're having big fun in Douglasville, Georgia. We're also having a mixer on October the 19th. You can join us right here in the studio, executive, film producers, music producers, whatever. Come on out, bring your business card. Meet the talk show divas, meet the talk show kings, and also meet someone here for flavor. And we would just love to have you to support and give us the props that we need to help this program. Again, I'm your host for tonight. I'm King Lundy, and it's been a pleasure. Have a good night.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.